Indeed. Just get my socials posted. What you up to, Hungary? I got a bunch of fans and stuff going because I'm trying to be a little bit better with the airbrush exhaust. It's been fine, but I have also noticed after this last paint session, I dusted an area and it had like pink powder among the dust. So I'm assuming that was from me. It didn't paint anything. Like there's nothing that's UV reactive in the area. So I'm like, okay, it didn't paint anything on my room. That's good. But still, I'm trying to limit that a bit. So we actually got a fan put in at the other end of my spray booth to try to pull it all through the filter. Ooh. I mean, you have assault intercessors, but I mean, if you're bringing a whole list, it probably won't matter. The balance for AOD is figuring out what you want, I guess, leading up to the actual game itself. Post. All right, let me do my Instagram post to finalize this. Because you get one rotation, right? So you want to do what you think is going to need to be played into most people. This is kind of an issue with AOD. Is you're most likely going to be playing against other elites. So whatever choices you're going to pick need to be for your more commonly used units against elites. And then when you're getting put into like hordes and stuff, you want to have that ability to shift one thing for a command point to make it easier. I feel like AOD gets a bit of an advantage if they know what's coming. But I guess that's fine. They're not exactly super strong. Only a third? So definitely take the list. Take the list where whatever you're looking at in the group is gonna have like a... You need the direct counter to it. Like if a lot of the stuff in that list is super fast, you need to be able to counter that speed. You're gonna just want that basic. That way you have the most amount of command points when you get into the game for most of your games. Get this Instagram post out there. Kill. Oh crap! I deleted the picture. Oh wait, that's right. I can go into the trash can. Collections. Trash. Untrash. We're going jazz today. I want to try to not be as annoyed by odd choices. God, that's right. It's the Adepticon showing, which means that's like midnight that they show that off. I might have to make a short video if it's actually good. Ugh. Hierotek, 2 Tempestus Equivalents, Chaos Cults, Legionary, 2 Nemesis, AOD. So you're not dealing with a lot of speed. Mandrakes have speed, but then Aquilans have like their deep strike speed. You might need more durability. Rekkas roll a lot of dice is the problem. Like that's been an issue with Rekkas. It's just tons of dice rolling. So if you can try to up your durability a little bit with at least one of the upgrade options, that would be good. Was there an APL shift? I mean, I'm trying to think. If against Mandrakes, you're gonna need against Mandrakes, if there's I can never remember with AOD. If there's a way for you to prevent APL drop, that's important. So remember that for that play, because a lot of the times what'll happen is Mandrakes will take on stun grenades. That way they can drop your APL and then have a better time trying to kill you from ranged. So if you can prevent APL drop, that's pretty huge. But we need to get to it. This probably won't be a long stream necessarily. Cleaner through this thing. So thankfully, blue horrors are actually quite easy to paint. Blue horrors and brimstones. Because the bulk of what you do is mostly through the airbrush, and then you have to go back in with some gold. And then some yellow and green. Give them a kind of little bit extra. A little bit of extra detail. Oh yeah, and if you're playing against the Psychomancer in ITD, you're gonna have a huge issue if they go that route. Just for the fact that it's a AoE Dev Blast with I think stun attached to it, right? I think it has stun. Can't remember. Maybe it doesn't have stun. It's been forever since I played Hierotek or even really looked at the rules. My buddy was getting into them, and I assumed we'd be talking more about trying to play. But he's I guess just been focused on post-marriage things. Boo-doo-boop. Boo-doo-boop. So I decided to get in on this 2v2. I'm interested in the rules a little bit, because this kind of gives you and your teammates something you have to talk about before the game in terms of like how your stuff's gonna work. Oh dude, tilting shields are amazing. That I remember when I looked at it, I was like, you should always probably take tilting shields. So the way this 2v2 tournament works, all 4 players are on one table. It's a 2K game. Both players get 1,000 points, right? from the sound of the rules, both players also get their own command point pools. So technically, you're generating double the command points per round, which is a little devastating if you think about it. But our goal as a team, our combo, is Scintillating Legion Demons. That's me. Should probably buy an actual hood. That way I could bring it forward a bit. This is very hard to position. My ally is gonna run Tyranids. I'm not sure what he's gonna run for Tyranids, but the key goal to this is that Scintillating Legion does some interesting stuff. I'm gonna basically be controlling midfield with all my little deep strikey guys and infiltrators and whatnot. Just kind of tar pitting it up. These things aren't meant to kill. They're just meant to sit and score. That is their whole purpose in life. But around about 2, I think turn 2 most likely, I predict disappointment. But that's how I am in life. For the Adepticon reveals there, Hungry. I predict that it's not what we thought it was. At all. I liked, someone brought up that they're pretty convinced it's gonna be an NPO thing, right? Like, it's not even gonna be about playing the Tyranids. It's gonna be more like they're gonna give you a bunch of stat cards for a bunch of different Tyranids. The box is gonna come with like a warrior and a bunch of like little things, maybe some gene stealers. And then the entire premise is it's like a single package co-op campaign NPO mission. And I was like, oh, because that's like community splitting right there. Because there's gonna be so many people who are like, oh, that's awesome, and then there's gonna be so many people who are like, god damn it. You had one goal, Games Workshop. Because you... Okay. So, the alternative. This is Tyranids, right? Like, it does come out as the Tyranid kill team. Volrak's leak of a Grey Knight kill team comes true. It was just way later than he thought. He thought it would be for Blood and Zeal because, I mean, Blood and Zeal sounds very Grey Knight-y. But maybe this next one involves the Tyranids, which everyone was waiting for, and Grey Knights, which a lot of people were really hoping for. No, I mean, I don't necessarily like the hype cycle he exists within, but, like, he's not the worst. I'm not absolutely against his existence, it's just... I wish more people looked at the hype cycle for what it is and maybe didn't fall prey to it as much. Hype cycles are dangerous, man. There's probably a lot of people who would have really enjoyed Blood and Zeal had they been shown it without the context of it potentially being something else. Oh, but Can You Roll a Crit used to work. I think he said he used to work as a game tester, right? For 40K stuff. So, like, he has people on the inside who are like, yo, let me send you a PDF. Is apparently, like, what it's supposed to be about. Like, he just gets the info early. This was actually something a lot of people were mad at. Because he would go to tournaments with the brand new team, and he would just win with it because he knew the rules pretty in depth, like before the release. Like he had been given their rules to look at. So there was this whole like post on the Kill Team subreddit about it, and people were really mad. That it felt like he wasn't necessarily winning because he was good, although, I mean, he is, from what I can tell. He's winning now, and he's using old teams, so, like, he's definitely good. But a lot of people agree, like, if you're given advanced knowledge of rules and interactions and the way things work, to the point where you're able to even build the team before they release, if you don't already have access to them, like some people are starting to now. Like the amount of channels with like 2K subscribers who got the box from Games Workshop early. What the hell? It's like, all right, I guess. But yeah, he would just go to tournaments and win with like the brand new team. I think he did that with Felgor, and that's really what triggered a lot of people to be like, what the hell? Because like Felgor came out, and then like a week later he won a tournament with him. Oh geez, he did. Did he get? Now did he get caught cheating, or did he do like a I forgot my rule thing? Like, this is kind of one of those issues with tabletop games. Like, if he had weighted dice and he got caught with that, it's like, okay, yeah. But if he was like, ah, crap, I forgot that the Justice Scratch doesn't work. Now, I don't know if you guys caught War Games Live recently with the finals. There was a player at the end of his last stream named Justin. That guy's from our local game store. Like, he learned all the last 2 years from our local scene how to play the game. He's like top 20 in the US or internationally or something. I think he's number 7 US and 20 international on ITC. He was going into Mordaka, so he already kind of assumed he was gonna lose. There's a reason Germany has now banned Mordaka until it gets changed. It's unhealthy for the competitive scene. But so what we sort of do kind of culturally. Oh, he convinced the judge. Ooh. Damn. Okay. That's that hunger for the victory, too. What's up, Uni? But yeah, locally speaking, something we do is if we do something, right? Like if we're like, all right, well, I'm gonna spend this command point, I'm gonna use this ability, it's gonna trigger this, and it's gonna happen with that. Normally what happens is we run through it to allow the person to then like go afterwards. But in that moment, if even there's an intersecting moment of doubt in your head, you're like, all right, cool, we did that. let me just double check to make sure I didn't cheat you, because I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but now I have that, like, lingering doubt. So as you're finishing out whatever you're doing, let me verify it. So, like, we have moments where we're like, oh, crap, it doesn't trigger off of that. All right, put your guys back. Like, we want to make sure... Oh, geez. Okay, but are you? Question mark. I don't know. He just, like... I don't know. Like, I'm not really part of that group over there, so, like, I have zero clue what's going on with them. I do wish we had a better scene locally. Jeez. You guys out there trolling people? Alright. Alright. It's fine, just don't get out of hand over here. But yeah, no, I figured. Like, there's definitely within the Games Workshop and even tabletop community, there is a bit of fear that people are just like, because dude, I've seen some places on subreddit. There was the recent subreddit post of the guy who put up a world eater that he painted pink, and like a whole subreddit like attacked him for, oh, look at your woke shit. And I was like, whoa. I'm just here to play a game with small plastic things. I want to roll dice and take risks. Because it's genetically built into me as a human being, and we don't get enough of it in a day. Like, people talk about vitamins you need in a day, like, oh, you don't get enough sunlight, get vitamin D, stuff like that. I feel like the greatest vitamin we as a species need is risk. We just don't get enough of it in a day. And in my opinion, the safest way to do it is in something like Warhammer. I'm not going to a frickin' casino, spending all my money. But yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. Like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, okay, so I moderate and work on a channel. Okay, where's the... Uh-oh. Hang on. Needed my towel. I moderate and work on a channel where I do have to, like, make calls to ban people from chat. And I do try to, like, see it. It's been weird recently, because, like, someone in chat will say something basic, like, I don't really like this. And I do see community members kind of, like, rise up as, like, oh, this guy should get banned for being this kind of a person. And it's so hard to, like, peer through the muck, because we do get people. We do get creepers and stuff, because we occasionally have women on our podcast, which, if you're familiar with the internet, is usually a bad idea with the cesspool of some of the people out here. So it's always weird to, like, look at it and have to marginalize between, like, absolute creepers and people being like, oh, that shirt looks nice today. And, like, both of those will get hit by people in chat with, like, you should ban this person for being weird. And it's like, I don't... It's such an awkward thing, man. Community management. So weird. This is always a trick of cultural context, though. Like, I don't know what would have led him to say that outside of him just, like, making that as a call, I guess. I don't know. It is a bit of a... we do get one person, at least in here, who does turn anything we really talk about into something a little more sociological and political in conversation than it probably needs to be. Wait, right about what? wait, right about what? Oh no, are you about to say women shouldn't play games? Oh no. What have I done? I don't know. Wait, you made a video saying he wants to stop playing because of Felgor and he like freaked out on you? There's gotta be more to this. There has to be more to this or it's just actually weird. I mean, I'll check it out eventually. I want to try to get through these guys today. I don't think I have links activated in here. Do I have a shout-out channel in my Discord? I thought I did. I can never remember. I'm managing 2 Discords. So you can just post it there. Core chat? Did you post it in core chat? No. Shoutouts. Just drop in the shoutout channel. If you're in the Discord. Because I think I have links off in chat. Okay. Either way. Blue horrors. What makes them easy to paint? Well, honestly, dude, I should have just played demons. Demons are so easy to paint. And they're actually stupid fun. They're not strong, but they're stupid fun. Like, what you're looking at before you is a bunch of 1OC, 3 toughness, 4+ save, 50-50 chance to split into a smaller version of itself if the squad lives after a single wave of attacks. In a game where more DACA is a thing, it's literally this. We do fluorescent violet overall, and then we hit it from above with teal. Now, for those unfamiliar with how paint works, you'll notice there's dashes that you can see there. That means this is pretty clear. It's why it is white primer. There are no dashes here. That means this is very high on the opacity chart, very thick, very hard to see through once you apply it. So I don't need to apply top-down white ink like I do with my Emperor's Children. It's literally this, zenithal this, done. And then the brimstones are about the same. It's chartreuse and then green, and you're done. So good. Wait, did you take the video down because he was yelling at you? Because if you're still worried about it, I think there's a tier between private and public. So it's not just like sitting in the front on your channel, if that's an issue. It's like hidden, I think. We are going to do shifter as well. We're going to do 3 layers to this. It's going to be the 2 colors and then shifter. Oh, you stopped YouTube altogether? Okay. These guys are feather light. I actually, while we were doing the Emperor's Children, for the 20 of these I already had, both blue and brim, so technically 40. I actually pried all the magnets off the bottom to replace with smaller magnets. Alright. Slight clog instantly cleared itself. But yeah, this is the new airbrush, the MOBIUS that they sent me. I actually have a link below for my my affiliate link to their channel if you're looking to get any products for whatever reason. I should be getting, by the time I get my Emperor's Children video together, I should be getting a discount code at some point here. It's apparently going to be like a time-limited thing. This is one of those things where I'm almost certain that I don't have the right community to be like, hey, who wants an airbrush? And then to actually make some sales off of it. But, you know, I get an airbrush out of it. And I needed an airbrush. So this is pretty pog. Okay. I will say at the very least, I am, at least in every community I have ever been a part of and run as like a mod, I try not to like pulpit that community, right? Like I don't necessarily want my community to be like the bandwagon, to be like, screw these people. So like it's cool when we talk about like Kill Team and stuff, but like this is all interesting to me, at least a little bit. But also, we are mid-hobby. So it's like it's one of those things. Because I know at least in almost any system, Twitch, YouTube, stuff like that, if at some point the community that has grown becomes one of those, like, things that try to, I guess, negatively impact other people, that leaves that community open to being, like, removed, right? It doesn't always happen, and sometimes, like, big communities don't really have an issue with it. But like, and a lot of the times when a community starts doing, like, the brigading thing, and it gets tracked back to a core community, like, that's how I would have to eventually stream on Kick, I guess. Like, I don't... Could you imagine a hobby stream on Kick? I guess we would only paint Kingdom Death. I'm absolutely sure I don't want to wear gloves when I do this. I'm basically creating gloves out of the color. Dude, this stuff peels like right off. I hit it with warm water and soap. I'm right back to skin. The paint I'm using isn't toxic, really. So it's like not that big of a deal. It's not like staining. It's fine. It wouldn't even need to be lewd 40k models. But that maybe that's like the meta, right? Go to Etsy, buy like 20 3D printed super cheap adult friggin' statues, and then just paint them live on Kick. This is my left hand. I eat with my right. Oh no! That's not good. But yeah. This was the one that I was having issues with, I think. The power of this airbrush is strong. Dirty Jack painting stream. I'd have to buy the statue explicitly for what the donkey's doing, right? Let that dry for a second. Plasma guns with kill teams? Hell yeah, there are. Probably the top tier one you would want to aim for. There's actually technically two, I guess. If you're looking to paint plasma style things, usually like Hearthkin stuff has some kind of interesting plasma function and lit function. Kasrkin are good, Aquilins are good as well, but if you want to maximize the potential output of it, you go Agents of the Imperium, I think, which was Inquisitorial Agents. There we are. That's the term I was looking for. Because they get like plasma cannons, plasma pistols, and they can ally in Kasrkin, so you can get your plasma that way. They can also ally in Tempestus, which is, yet again, more plasma. So, they finally made it so you can't run like 10 plasma on the field. It's just not a thing. But you'll at least have a lot of different options that will involve plasma that you can take per game, so you can kind of swap around based on what you think you need. I think you can only take 2 AP1 guns, right? Any guns that have like AP built in, you can only take like 2. It was an old rule they had before the change to the new version of Kill Team. Aquilins are pretty fast-paced. I mean, they're the only team right now that has like a proper deep strike function. It makes the rushdown really good for them because they can just kind of be in the middle of the field. But yeah, back on this 2v2. I keep getting distracted. So I'm doing Scintillating Legion. My buddy, my teammate's going to be playing Tyrannid. Since we're both playing on the same field, we all get like our faction abilities. So this is kind of like an interesting 2v2 Pokemon system, right? Where we're going to have the benefit of my team, which is that all these little guys get Infiltrate. They're going to kind of hang out in the mid and not really care. Yeah, just a Hellblaster squad. I wonder if you could do a stand-in Hellblaster squad for Necron, right? Because Necron are the AP team. So, like, technically it would kind of visually look good. Maybe. Hell yeah. And since my teammate is playing Tyrannid, he has the once per game Brain Blast. So there's a trick here. Scintillating Legion can convert the entire table into a Shadow of Warp situation, which is -1 to your Battle Shock and Leadership rolls. And if you fail them, you take D3 Mortals. So I convert the entire field, and then we Brain Blast. And he's going to bring, I think he said he was bringing whatever model the Tyrannid get that increased the reduction to leadership from Brain Blast. So I think it's like -3 to the leadership roll total. And every team that fails is Battle Shook and takes D3 Mortals from the demon side of things. So that's going to be super fun. And I'm just going to hang out in mid with my little guys, try to tar pit it up for a little bit while he sits back with Tyrannid and uses their long range. And he's going to have a couple squads in reserve for taking back mid in the later stage of the game. So we have a pretty cool game plan, I think. Hopefully we win. I was worried because the first time I went to check and sign up for this, there was only like 1 other team signed up. Now there's like 5 other teams signed up, so we're doing good. We're talking about... I don't know. I don't know when Aaron's gonna have free time. It was weird doing the hot pot night and then seeing him get his like Hyrotech stuff together to be like, oh, I can make my kill team now, and then to just not hear from him for freaking weeks. Like, still haven't heard from him. Said he would contact me when he was building to make sure he did it right. I think we do the Chartreuse first. We'll let the purple dry a bit. I was excited because, like, he is the kind of person to be like, yo, let's meet up at the Warhammer store and play around. Like, to at least have a day once in a while to just be like, let's meet up. And I'll be like, yeah, cool. Move these out of the way so they don't get hit with chartreuse. It's good to see people out. I mean, it's probably, you're all probably going to vanish around 3 o'clock like usual, so hopefully we're done by then. But yeah, I kind of want these done because I have a game tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna play the full-fledged Scintillating Legion tomorrow. Oh no, dude, Aaron, that'd be 40k, and Aaron doesn't necessarily have 40, and he hasn't played really, so like, it would be that kind of bad situation of me bringing someone who hasn't played enough to a tournament, and it's like I'd have to be basically QAing everything he does. Oh. So bright. I love these little guys. We're actually, once we get to the end part of this, which I don't know if we're going to do on stream because I got to wait for the paste to dry, I'm going to be pulling out all the old ones I already did, and we're going to be applying green pigment powder to them to make them look kind of like expanding flame on the actual surface of whatever they're standing on, which is neat. But nah, it's a person from the local game store. Like, I know most of the players at the local game store that I go to, the Warhammer store. And occasionally we'll do team tournaments together. Occasionally we'll just prep for tournaments. Like, dude, I was saying earlier, War Games Live streamed... Oh, nice. War Machine... They do look good. I do, like I said, I do really hope the new company, like, gets them off the ground and brings them back into people's opinion of, like, a good tabletop game. Because it was interesting. It was a really interesting time to see that kind of stuff. I really love the gameplay and how it worked, because it was a blend between 40k and Kill Team, basically, at that point, which was nice. Competition was the word you're looking for? I'm gonna throw that out there. But no, I was telling everyone earlier, I think before you were probably here, War Games Live streamed a major. I think it was a major. And I was sitting here getting some work done. I look over at the finals table. And the person, one of the people on the finals table was one of the people I played in a 4v4 with. He actually learned how to play from our store. And now he's US top 7, I believe, and international top 20. We have a weirdly good location here, man. I know people talk about Nurglings and stuff as kind of like the mascots for 40k and things like that. Like any little unit Any of like the weird Grimdark Kawaii unit. Ripper Swarms. I feel like everyone's sleeping on Brimstones, man. These guys are awesome. Need to get the Brimstone plushie. That's what they gotta release. I think we actually have a really good chance at winning. Or at least performing super well, maybe getting top 3. I just need to hyper focus on the fact that my list is not meant to kill. I'm gonna have Kairos at the back end, and I'm gonna have an emergency Screamer squad if we need to bring down monsters or armor. But I'm gonna have a Changeling who's just gonna kind of appear somewhere to do some things. But the strength in my list is the fact that I'm able to make it so that I can go back into reserve even if you're in melee with me. Like if somebody charges my Changeling and then fails the roll to be able to target him and he's just like there, right? He's not locked down. He can leave. I can make him leave. There's also a bunch of fun value if somebody charges like an infantry squad into my blue horrors to try to hold down a zone. I don't need to retreat. That's actually a thing. For a command point, the squad they're in melee with can be treated as though it's not in melee with them. I could take some damage, but it is blue horrors, so if my guys die, maybe they come back as brimstones. It's great. Oh god, no. There we are. Uh-oh. So personally, me, because of the consistent disappointment in terms of like what people were hoping for versus what we got a lot of the times, I am genuinely leaning into the idea that whatever they reveal for Kill Team does involve Tyrannid, but it is an NPO mission where Tyrannids are not a kill team. They are merely what you fight with a kill team. I am leaning into that. Fun thing this can do. I hope I'm wrong. But, yeah. I actually kind of like that this is how this works. Because I can actually get down in here and try and check like the little bits and pieces of paint out. It could be for Big Hammer. Like, that's my favorite part. All they did was post Tyrannid terrain. And everyone's freaking out about it being 4 kill team, but 40k is on that list, so... Alright, let's go with blue. Some blue Zenithal. Which hopefully we have enough of. I mean, I feel like there's a bunch in here. Yeah, I'm hoping other Chaos Code... Dude, if they reveal that Thousand Suns are getting an Automaton unit, like everyone keeps saying, oh, let's go. Give me walkers. Okay. You're saying why didn't it come out with Leviathan? They dropped a whole ass Black Library book involving a Catachin squad fighting Tyranids on the death, like, in the freaking forests, like the whatever the Death World forests were or whatever. You drop that book with the kill teams. That's what you do. That is cross promotion of top tier variety. A whole ass book. And the squads in the book. Alright, I'm gonna go light with the pullback. I don't want to overdo it. Yeah, and everyone was like, yo, jungle terrain, that's what's coming next. Because in the frickin'... in that one, like... what it was like a Vox transmission. You could see trees. And everyone was like, oh, we're doing it. We're going to the jungles. It's that simple. This is literally it. Like, Blue Horror. Basically ready for tournaments. I'm going to be painting the gold, though. We're definitely going to be painting the gold. There's been several moments, okay? This is kind of the issue. There's been several moments that have led us as a community to be like, oh my god, Tyranid. Remember when they first introduced Into the Dark? And the Gallo Dark? Do any of you remember that? The video they showed that was like the tease was sort of like roaring and growling and shadows moving through that ship, and everyone was like, yo, they're gonna take Kill Team into a spaceship and the opener is gonna be a Space Hulk Kill Team concept. Let's go. And then it was Kroot. Or no, it was yeah, no, it was Kroot, right? Like it was Kroot versus I believe Breachers. Everyone's like, no. I mean, the Kroot are cool. Don't get me wrong, Kroot are awesome. But goddamn. It's always a miss. Like, they're just constantly having moments where everyone's like, yo, now is the time. And then Games Workshop goes, nah, it's not. Like, just the immediate follow-up of like, is it? Is it really the time right now? I don't know. Or maybe we don't. I am noticing in this new season that they're trying to stay as far away from like real elite teams as they can. The closest we got were the Rekkas. But the only way to make Rekka a true elite is to like start doing actions, right? Like you have to shoot with them in order to gain the APL. So if your opponent stays very stealthy against them, like you're not going to have as much of an advantage. They really are trying to push away from elite interaction. And they don't have Astartes. Like they don't have their version of Astartes, so it's like, alright. Dude, I don't think that's going to be the case. I genuinely think it's just going to be NPO mission, where they're going to have a box set for specific NIDs that you have specific rules for the NPO fight. And then maybe some, like, pieces of small terrain. Specifically that NID hive. And the whole mission is going to be to get to those hives and blow them up. And that's the NPO mission. And the NIDs spawn from the hive. So, like, you have to deal with kind of getting in there, even though NIDs are spawning on it, to get that kill. Boom. Super fast blue horrors. Easy mode. Now we hit the little guys with green, and then we'll do the shifter on the blues as well. Because I do like the idea of demons looking a little weird visually with, like, some offbeat colors and edge highlights and stuff. And shifter paint does that super well. Dump cup. Something I did notice about GAAHLERI's website is they have a sort of upgrade box for these brushes, so you can get different size needles and an even bigger one of these. So, like, my issue of the size of this, because it is small compared to my last cup. The last cup I had would have been, like, a little bit wider. So it had a better VAT system, but, I mean, I can always upgrade this. I'm not that pushed by it, though. I did not get the new Kill Team box. I think, what, pre-orders were out for it? It hasn't been released yet, has it? Necessarily in the public, and Games Workshop has no idea who I am. So, I am not on their list of people. Like, I emailed them. I was like, hey, I have this, I do this. And I haven't heard back. So, I'm guessing I have to, like, meet someone, right? Like, that's all I can think of is I have to meet someone at a tournament who manages Games Workshop's, like, community end. Because that's the only way in my head there's so many channels right now who only occasionally do things and don't even really, like, go ham with what they do. They kind of just, like, sit down and talk. Like, that's it. And they're getting things, like, weeks in advance. And I'm just here. I have seen codex overviews. I have seen battle reports. And I'm just kind of, like, chill out here. I'm just like, all right. I did get the Champions of Slaanesh one. I'm not surprised at this point. I don't know. You have to be out here. You do have to have, like, a kind of pre-existing connection. I don't think they check their email as much as you would think. I really don't. I basically was like, I have a channel. I mostly focus on Kill Team and hobby work, but I've been expanding into other avenues of the Games Workshop brands. And I'd be interested in, like, going over rules and talking to people about stuff if they had anything cool. And that I've worked with other brands for, like, video game side of stuff with the other job that I have. And I get it. Like, I know the ins and outs of kind of what to do to not screw over the whole marketing side of things, and I figured it'd be fine. Haven't heard back. So, we're just out here painting, getting ready for a tournament. I don't know if I'm getting that box, because honestly, I'm not really that interested in Ashes of Faith 2.0. The Goremongers look cool. Their rules definitely look cool. That is 100% a thing. So yeah, unless they change what they used to do to now, the only way to get that complete set is that box. They're not going to do other boxes with other teams, so you're going to need to think about buying the Vulcus box, the rulebook, the deployables box, and whatever teams you actually want. The rules are a bit crazy. I know their statting is a little weird, though. Like, when I looked at that Cherub, the Cherub only attacks like 4 times and hits on 5s, which is odd. But isn't that team, like, built around just having auras? Like, they have some big attacks. I know that. The frickin'... Their ability to, like, call down those super strikes once per game was crazy. So, that kind of was a rule for the Felgor that they nerfed the hell out of. I could see them maybe keeping it with that list, though, because they're not necessarily as durable as a Felgor unit. Oh, that was way too much green. Oh, hang on, phone call. Alright, I'm back. It was like 3 people, yeah. And then they lowered it to like a distance because it was 3 people he could see or something, and then there was like 3 people within 3 inches of him, and now they're like it's 1 person. Or so like they basically kept shutting it down because it was too strong. Bonus movement is always really powerful, and I feel like we might get maybe another adjustment to them that maybe negates the bonus movement. There's a chance that they're going to be like, Wait, Rosso, is that like a sarcasm thing? Because, you know, we can't It's a online chat room. I can't read. Oh no, there it is. /s. Okay, good. Good. Whew. I didn't want to break the news. I didn't want to be the guy to tell you. Sit down and have the talk. No, it would be cool. It would have been cool. Has the leak rumor mill said anything about the Tyrannid stuff that everyone's freaking out about as potentially being kill team? Or is the rumor mill relatively silent? Well, what units, outside of what the Goremongers are, what units... And I'm still not convinced that that box with the Goremongers and then the Imperial, like, priest people isn't the fodder for the upcoming Chaos and Imperial Knights codexes. But, like, what other World Eaters units could they have dropped, right? Because at this point, everyone wants the Butchers. Like, their specialized Terminators. So it's Tyranids versus Servitors? That's weird. I mean, it's not super weird. I guess Servitors would be insanely slow with a lot of, like, anti-infantry heavy weapons. Like heavy bolters, grenade launchers, stuff like that. My brimstones. Oh, they look so cool. Alright, we'll do a little bit more hobby work then. We'll do the gold on the blue horrors, but we are basically done the airbrush. I'm not really that worried about terrain expansions for Vulcus because they don't affect the competitive maps. Those are mostly for narrative. So if you're interested in them for narrative, that's kind of cool. But if you're mostly playing competitive that actually uses GW competitive and not like what the ITC competitive or whatever they use, because they use custom stuff. Like, I guess there's a singular company that for the past 2 years or something has made terrain for skirmish games like this, and that's what everyone seems to use. They use those maps designated as balanced for kill team in that regard, which I need to look at. I know there's a few tournament goers in chat. Have you ever used those tables that aren't exactly Vulcus tables but are kind of like almost like, how do we put this, like an online arena game map where it's just designed to be a little bit more focused on some stuff? Like, how do those play? Because the whole premise of this new season of Kill Team was supposed to be that maps you play on are going to be asymmetrical. Okay, so you guys just use base maps? Because I could have swore I watched a tournament where it was, like, weird. Run some cleaner through this. Oh, ITD is great. ITD is still one of my favorites. ITD changes the balance of the game so much. that it makes people who run multiple things for their teams have more to like play with, right? Like if you don't really use blast weapons all that much, and then someone's like, "We're playing on ITD," your brain immediately goes to blast weapons, like immediately. Blast, torrent. I'll run flamers in that crap. I don't care. Hitting on 2s, rolling like 6 attacks. A lot of them end up being crits. I don't care if your armor saves a 3+. You could save all 3. You're still getting hit with at least 3. It's fantastic. And if you get a bunch of 5s, good luck. But yeah, they've moved to asymmetric maps because it's a little more interesting when it comes to picking which side you want and then which team you're going to field to try to run the side. But I could have swore I watched a tournament that was like all the maps were symmetrical, and I was like, that's not... I get why we think that that's good for a competition. That's why the 40k maps are that way, because it's like, it doesn't matter which side you get, you're working with the same thing your opponent is, therefore your list needs to kind of counterplay in that situation. But, I don't know. Let me clean up a little bit. And in order to clean up, we might switch over to... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay, so I have to assume... Alright, we're going to assume. Oh, it does work. Okay. So let me wash my hands real quick, grab a couple things, and we'll get back to it. I'm realizing I forgot to airbrush on the shifter, so we will probably just regular brush on the shifter. That's fine. Technically, these are blue horrors that aren't even going to be fielded. In theory. I might find a list where I want to field them. But I field pink horrors as well. Because I had extra points, so I could. Oh. Freaking Gene Stealers are big. You ever see my my Biosanctic Gene Stealer cult Gene Stealers? The ones that I got from, oh god, the Necromunda side of things? Push those out of the way. Get that open. So yeah, regular. Mouse strain. Ah! They're so spindly. Technically, they're about the same size. I think this one's a little bigger than the mouse strains. But the one I use is my Patriarch. Hell yeah. I might have to work on painting him a little more. I don't really like... I think I need to just actually get an airbrush thing together and hit him with some airbrush glow. But yeah, I bought the big one for my Patriarch. Even though the assumption is that they will eventually release the Patriarch from that whole thing. Okay, things we need to do. I have to find my purple blue shifter. That is very important. Blue-purple shifter. Because shifter paint on demons? Kind of pog. Although we don't use any on the brimstones, because the brimstones are just basically fire, so that's fine. Shifter on Demon Flesh. That's where the joy comes in. We would also be working today on my Chaos Spawn for my Emperor's Children, but the bases I ordered aren't in. So we kind of have to wait on that. I probably won't stream it. I'll probably just do it offline. We might paint them on stream. That's fine. But yeah. They don't look as big as a Chaos Spawn silhouette. But when a Chaos Spawn is put next to this, it's about the same width based on the crab claws. So between the base and like the general silhouette, this is kind of the same thing. I just prefer this because it is like one of those weirdly thin, like almost creepy looking satyr-like things. I feel like these would be more an actual Chaos Spawn for an Emperor's Children style thing. And Chaos Spawn are really good. They're so good. Shifter paint. Mouse strains were a bit rough to build. I remember that. Like they're awkward. But I mean that's Necromunda for you. It's almost expected. It's like the biggest downside to wanting to play a Gene Stealer Cult Army in 40k is that all the models are basically Necromunda models. So there's all those little fiddly bits on half of them. They're not even the worst. That's the crazy part. I mean, you build one of those Achilles Ridge Runners or you build one of those trucks and you're just like, God, that's awful. Not even the worst. They're like a 4 out of 10 on the Necromunda annoyance scale for construction. But people who play frickin' like Gene Stealer Cult Armies and all that, ugh. Like if they're serious about it, shit's crazy. Gotta work on some shorts. I gotta get this video done. The Emperor's Children, I'm calling it the post-release clarity video. We talk about kind of how things feel, how the general gist that people seem to have for the codex, things I've noticed. We do the hobby part that involves the airbrush stuff that, you know, I have. Hopefully by the time I finish that out and get it set up, I'll have the actual code so people can use a code for that. They need some tools. Again, the affiliate link is in the description right now. If you were planning on picking some stuff up. Hashtag ad. It's good stuff, though. I mean, I haven't had issues. Specifically with the brush. I don't know about anything else. If you're about to ask me how good their compressors are, I don't know. Look around for that. Oh, you built Ash? Dude, I built 3 whole squads of Ash Waste Nomads. Those are my cultists. They're easy to paint. Like, they were super easy to paint. They were annoying to put together. Nice, nice. Shifter applied. Dude, the rules are a struggle bus for Necromunda, but if you actually get it, it's kind of fun. A lot of the people at my local are talking about starting up their Necromunda scene again, I guess. Technically, I could, you know, get in on it. Technically. Because I do have all those Gene Stealer cult things. And I also have that giant collection of friggin' Ash Waste Nomads. I just don't know if the way that I built them is fine. Like, I have a couple Ash Waste Nomad units that are basically just dual melee. Like, they have no guns. And from what I can tell when I looked at the online information, it seemed like that was fine. I just wasn't super sure. I just remember the local scene, they had like a really big Excel spreadsheet. The guy that was running it knows how to like do Excel stuff. So his Excel spreadsheet was actually just like perfect, right? Like you had search functions, you had like drop down menus and stuff. He went all out on that. know there's an app that helps you track stuff, but he wanted it to be all on his end. Can't wait to see how this works for the 2v2. Because it's always the thing about Warhammer. In my head, we have a brilliant idea. Execution of that idea would be fantastic. The only problem is, we know that there's counters. Like, there are just counters that exist to this kind of thing. So maybe the thing we discovered that is what we assume is kind of powerful isn't as powerful as we think it is. And we're going to get hit by something that's straight up like, oh, by the way, we're just going to shoot you off the board in turn 1 because we have the super combo. And it's something like none of us knew would have worked. Might need to mix some white into this. I don't know, I feel like it's not as thick as it should be. Thick. Do-do-do-do. I'm gonna do the texture paste on them too, but I don't think we're gonna stream that. I'm gonna have to wait for it to finish, which means I'm probably not gonna be able to complete these guys until the end of the night. I use crackle paste on these little guys, so it takes a little bit longer to dry than the coarse pumice. That's fine. I almost don't have to apply the green after this. It's showing some of the blue through, which is just making it green. Kind of cool. These are mostly for the blue horrors to split into. They do need to change the rules for how these guys work in 40k. They got to bring them closer to how they work in Age of Sigmar. It's such a better split function to be per death as opposed to needing the squad to remain at least one person alive to trigger the split. I don't know if I like the idea of counterplay being, I roll 80 dice. It's like, I don't know, man. Their ability to split is their best asset, so... something I'm gonna have to pay attention to when we're playing. Make sure I don't put them in front of like the most amount of attacks. Use them as mini tar pits. Only give them a few targetable options. I think it'll be fine because currently in the meta, a lot of people will bring like middling attacks, sort of like autocannon level attacks, which are good. Like autocannons are good. But if you fire a tank that has a couple autocannons on it into my blue horrors to try to bring them down, I mean, you're gonna kill like half. You're gonna have to do that for a few turns to deal with them. It's pretty decent, at least from my perspective. Against armies that bring the heat from like 20, 30 attacks, it's a little bit different. I'm gonna have to play differently into Mordaka. I wonder who's gonna bring Mordaka to a 2v2. That'd be crazy. I mean, it's a tournament, so aim to win, right? There's like 2 units in Mordaka. That's all you really need. No, yeah, that and the Immortal Brick. I don't know if you've ever experienced the Immortal Brick. There's like a specific leader that gives them sustains on 5s, and I think their guns have like sustain 2. Like their short range guns. Then they go with the detachment that lets them like uppy downy. Oh my god, dude. It's the angriest thing in the world. Just immortals showing up right next to you to blow you away. I'm gonna have to ask them how the Scintillating Legion stuff's gonna work out. I wonder if I'll be able to give my Tyrannid teammate the ability to reroll off of the token. How crazy would that be? The thing is, they're not fast, but they're fast because of uppy downy. When that codex came out and uppy downy really started to get pushed as the thing they want to do, that was kind of when this meta turned into everything that uppy downies is good. That's what my Scintillating Legion is. My Scintillating Legion is uppy downy. I have to pay a command point for it, but it is very worth that command point. Like, seriously, I played a, I think I played a 2K game, I want to say, with him. Not that long ago. Maybe it was a 1K. No, I think it was a 2K. The way it worked out was my opponent tried to get to my, like, HQ. No, I think it was a 1K. I only had one bird on the table. He tried to get to my Lord of Change, and he was running at him with a Canis Rex, basically. And then when he got close, I just uppy downy to the other side of the board. Like, you're not catching me. I got wings if I need to move away locally, or I just get picked up and put back down elsewhere. Fantastic. He tried so hard too. I just kept scoring points. That's what was crazy about it. I feel like Emperor's Children are kind of in that same boat as World Eaters, because it's sort of the same thing. We get uppy downy with 2 of our detachments that I remember, unless demons also get it. I never really looked too far into the demon side of things. They seem really good, though. That might, considering how Mordaka worked, the demon list for Emperor's Children might actually end up being a thing. The goal for it might not work, though. So the goal in the demons list is to have a Cacophonist leading a squad of Noise Marines, right? That squad gets put right next to something it needs to kill. And then a bunch of demons come down right next to that squad. Within the aura range of it at the end of the reserve phase. So what happens is once your Noise Marines open fire on the thing they want to kill, they're getting sustains on 5s. Ignore cover, sustains on 5s. Basically plasma guns and mini las cannons in terms of quality. It's not a bad combo. In theory, it could even be devastating with the Terminators. Because Cacophonous can lead the Terminators, giving them sustained hits. So you put the demons down next to your Terminator squad, and it's sustained hits on 5s. You could probably take the anti-infantry combi bolter and just absolutely melt with dev wounds an infantry squad. A lot of good options. Oh yeah, I should probably do the Phobos video soon. Phobos are still really good. Double check something though, because I want to make sure I remember the rules properly since I don't play them heavily. I like them, I just don't play them. Like personally, I prefer Reavers at this point since Reavers all get their enhancements. You're no longer limited with the Reavers down to how much equipment you can take, because the Reavers originally you could only take so many grab shoots, and that was like the important part back in the day. Now they all get it. Like, it's just built into them. Which is neat. But let me take a look. Just to make sure the statings are what I think they are. Because at the end of the day, what's cool is you don't need to build a roster like you used to for tournament play and competitive play. So definitely try, if you're playing Phobos, to get your hands on every single Phobos model. Like, have the ability to equip everything that you could possibly need. Oh, shit. Hang on, I think I got a message from the tournament. We're good. It's probably just the old message. Hey. Yeah, kill team. Phobos. All right, Tourney. You're looking between Infiltrator and Incursor. So the trick with Infiltrator is there's so many Infiltrator units, and this kind of persists, right? Let me take a look at what their warrior is. We'll perform pickup marker. Ooh, do they all get that? No. Infiltrator warriors are solid. Yeah, because mission action for 1 AP less, that's opening doors, that's doing the capture mechanic. Infiltrator warriors are pretty solid. Those are the ones you would take if you wanted to specifically focus on doing missions. Oh, they all do it. Okay. Incursor, same thing. No, Reavers. Reavers, okay. Warriors are all the same for their ability. You're looking at Saturate versus Lethal 5. Lethal 5 is pretty powerful. Saturate's good depending on the map. So I would take the Lethal 5 regularly from the Infiltrator, but if you go up against a team that does, like, bonuses to cover saves, I might actually take the incursors. Warrior. End of the day, though, Reaver Warrior's top tier. Because you go melee for the Reaver Warrior. He has the ability to do the local mission for cheap. And then you just have a really good melee guy. 5 attacks, 3+ to hit, 4-5 damage line. That's powerful in melee. So they're your front line, they do the missions, and they kill people in melee. If you can get your box of Reavers at some point, that'd be nice. Reavers are really useful for this team. I think their guns are also good, yeah. They get the bolt pistol with piercing 1 on it. Oof, so good. What else did they get? Did they get stuff different for their different units? Faction rules. Okay, yeah. So, Infiltrator. Infiltrator was the one that stops stuff. Terror. Was there nothing for Incursor? Oh, no, yeah. Okay. Can't be obscured. I feel like the Incursor rule is only best in the form of the Incursor Marksman. Regular Incursor soldiers don't really matter that much for this. Between Infiltrator and Incursor, I would probably mostly lean into Infiltrator. I would only go over to Incursor if my opponent played teams that had benefits for being in cover. Like being able to upgrade cover saves or retaining double cover or something. That's when I'd be like, nope, saturate. Not dealing with it. Because if their saves are low enough as is that it doesn't matter, kind of like how Crude are, then taking away their ability to get all the benefits of cover saves and whatnot is good. Although, I'm trying to remember if Crude get around Saturate. I thought there was a way for them to get around Saturate. And having more infiltrators on the board, being able to have the Omni Scrambler work. Like, Omni Scrambler is a big play. Like, a much bigger play than you would expect out of that team. Because a lot of people will move units forward expecting to be able to, you know, position and get close enough to you to, like, charge and cause a lot of problems. That's kind of their whole thing. It's just like, oh, I can charge you now and you're going to have an issue with this. But if you Omni-Scramble them, and it gives you more time to be able to, like, run up with a detonation device or something, get some extra work done, like, that kind of stuff just changes the pace of the game. It really does. Any ability that prevents activation is huge. The Mandrake Leader has the ability to do it. I think there was Hearthkin abilities. There were some Hearthkin functions to do that. Like, one of my long shot plays that I take with my Mandrakes is sending the Mandrake Leader across the board at, like, the top of turn 2. 'Cause I'm not worried about him dying necessarily. There's no, like, Headhunter tack op anymore. Giving up a unit just early isn't always the best because of the whole the ability for them to, you know, recover dropped stuff off of dead units, like things like that. Like the kind of weird side missions that make them want you to be close, it's a little bit of a struggle. It would be a good idea to like wait to know what your opponent's attack op is to maybe decide to do that. But there's things like the Hearthkin where you just do... I'm trying to remember what it's called. One of the characters on that team has the ability to take a target it sees and then make it so that it can't activate until like the end of the round. It's just so good. Just shutting someone down super hard. Get this music back up and running. Lethal 5 is kind of universally good. It's good when it doubles off of something else. That kind of makes it easier to get 5s, but just having it passively increases your crit rate a little. Oh yeah, Reavers. Reavers are huge. And you don't... With Reavers, you just go the melee variant. I have a couple bolt carbines just because I thought it would be good to have. But you can kind of work with the Reaver box to, you have to do a little bit of conversion, right? So what I bought was the box of specialists and the box of Reavers. I made the amount of Reavers I needed to run one sergeant and a full squad of melee Reavers. I then made, I think, like 2 carbine Reavers just to do it. And then for the rest of the Reavers in the box, I actually did a little bit of conversion to make them into the infiltrators and incursors to fill out that amount of unit. It's a little bit more of a struggle now just because warriors for that army do really well with mission actions. But that's what I'm saying. I think Reaver warriors are probably top tier. Just because 90% of your mission actions require you to be on the front line. So having a melee focused thing on the front line is just really good. Like, why would you not want a melee-focused guy on your front line? It makes people have to think twice about sending in an enemy unit to try to melee it to death just because it's like, look, you're going to take bare minimum 4 damage. Is that something you want? And do you have the ability to get rid of it? Can you just scratch it out? Are you going to assume that across 5 dice I'm not going to roll a crit? At which point I'm hitting you for 5 damage and you can't just scratch it? Like, how we doing this? It's just so good. And yeah, you do need to buy it. You at least need to buy 2 boxes for Reaver, or for the Phobos team, which does kind of suck. There are a lot of 2-box teams right now with Kill Team. They start with 1, and you might think, like, oh, that's fine. But no. And there are some bad ones. I kind of want to look into the... What is it? It's the Brood Brothers? Yeah, I think it's Brood Brothers, right? Because I think you might need to buy 2 boxes of Brood Brothers and one of those box of leaders. If you just starting out and you want to play them. Like, if you have nothing else. I feel like you might be able to get away if you have neophytes already from the Wormblade. To not have to buy a new box. But I don't know, man. It feels like there's a full box of specialists, but you also might want regular soldiers. So you would need all the specialists, and then you would need like a couple bodies. You could be like, oh, this is a regular Brood Brother. This is fine. Yeah, if you bought the Brood Coven box from the release, that was good, because you get the leaders out of it. That was, like, real good. Remember, if a pink horror dies, it becomes a blue horror, potentially, on a roll. It becomes 2, right? So technically these 10 that I purchased aren't enough. Ugh. Gross. The hope is by the time I'm splitting pinks, I've lost a squad of blues. That's the real hope. At the very least, I'll have a little bit to put down. Some spare. Still just gross. This is why the AOS method was better for blues and pinks. I love the idea of if the blues are close enough to the pink squad and the pinks die, you can bring back up to 2 blues in the blue squad, regardless of how many brimstones there are, up to their normal maximum amount of 10. This is such a better idea. Inquisition is massively a multiple box offender. If you want to play like just solo Inquisition, you need minimum 2 boxes. You might even need more. And then if you want to have the options, which, I mean, you really want to have the options with this team, you need to pick up their ally function, which I think is what? Sisters of Silence, which are actually very good. Like, I know a lot of people like to point to the more normalized kill teams, like the Kasserkin or the Arbides or whatever, but statistically, in most situations, a good collection of melee and even flamer Sisters of Silence are just a fantastic option. Like, can you imagine running ITD with like 3 flamer sisters? And like, what is it? I think they get 5, right? You get like 3 flamers and 2 friggin' melee. Because the melee actually hit like trucks. So why would I not want to lean into that? if you bought them back with the Ashes of Faith box, which maybe you could find still. Not a lot of people wanted to pick up the Ashes of Faith box because it was just like, it was cultists. It was a blend of like all 3 cultist boxes together at once. And then it was 2 boxes of these Inquisitor things on top of a thing of Scions and a thing of Sisters of Silence. It was a really good deal at the time, technically. And if you can find one and you want to play either of those teams, 100% grab it. So good. Yeah, probably at this point, the Inquisition team is one of the worst offenders for multi-box purchase. And technically, I think they were considering that team a Season 3 team. So I think that that team's going to be around for a while. It may even outlast some of the squads in it that can be used as allies. So in theory, you could run your Imperial agents with Kasrkin in a tournament when Kasrkin might not be considered part of the balance. Unless they explicitly say you can't use allies that are no longer part of that. Which is possible. It is a possible outcome. Hit spots with green. Again, I really wish my local scene had a much more active kill team community. We had a couple people at the local game store for a while, but I haven't seen them talk in the local Discord for a bit, so I don't know what's going on there. And then when I go to check tournaments on BCP, I never see kill team tournaments, ever. The closest tournaments to here, I think, are like Washington, D.C. or something. Like it's like Baltimore, Washington, D.C. Those are the places I gotta go. And I don't exactly have the timing to just be like, let me give up my whole weekend for a one-day tourney. There's no way I'm driving out to those places, like waking up at 6 a.m. just to go play a tournament. The level of burnout. That is a show up at that place the day before in a hotel and then go to the actual tournament the next day kind of situation. It's like the guy who was trying to get me up to the New York game. Ugh. %100% would have to stay there the day before. Freaking super burned out over the course of the whole day. Once we get this green done, we'll go in with the gold, try to get all their little jewelry, their weapons. And that's basically it. This is kind of why I like Blue Horrors. Like, I genuinely really like Blue Horrors. Because they're just so simple. There's like a value in putting them together quickly and then just painting them super fast. They are the fodder unit of Tzeentch. So it is probably a good idea that they're easy to paint. Stupid little ape creature thingies. So cute. Totes adorbs. And where's the Blue Horror and Brimstone plushie? They gotta do the one where you can actually flip it inside out. I don't know if you've ever seen those plushies where there's just like the part of the bottom where you kind of flip out the bottom part and it just goes from a Blue Horror into a Brimstone. That'd be top tier. The Battle to End Alzheimer's event, I know, was growing a bit. Because that was, what, 2 years ago they really tried to start it out in like a big way? I think that's kind of where, there was this one store near me that actually the guy that used to run tournaments at that store, I think was the one that hosted the Battle to End Alzheimer's event. And that store, man, ever since they moved to that event, there have been no tournaments at that store. I'm actually a little concerned. The store itself moved 40K events to like a Wednesday 40K thing, and no one shows up. Like, I don't know if they just decided to move on from that place or what happened. But, like, that store has maybe 15 tables to play on. I've done 30-man tournaments there. Like, it's good. But just no one goes there for 40K anymore. That happened in like a year. But that one's out in what? Anaheim? Aberdeen? Like, that's a good hour away from me, and I think it's like a 3-day event. So I would have to plan some time to go out there if I was gonna do it. It is a big event, though. Let's get some gold going. bit of a drive. I'd have to plan for it. I'd have to pay for a hotel and everything. Because, man, there'd be nothing worse than showing up to a tournament. Like, even if it's like a one-day thing, showing up to a tournament that starts at like 9 in the morning after having driven for an hour, waking up at like 6 a.m. after staying up till 1 in the morning for just getting work done. Oh. That is a misery. Rested, fed, have snacks on hand, maybe some caffeine. Burnout is real. There was a good number of one-day tourneys near here for a little while there. I just don't know what happened. The one I'm going to is like an hour away from my house, but thankfully my friend lives halfway between there and here, so I'm just gonna go stay at his house overnight and then head out in the morning. Gold speed paint. Corrective with this. His pinky finger has flame coming out of it, and I did not notice. Having a sudden craving for bulgogi. Don't know why. me... just depressurize my tank for the airbrush. Maybe after that GT happens with a little kill team in it, people will start thinking about getting into it a little more locally. Because I know a ton of the people that go to that GT are just locals. We've got a big cross-section of players, although they'll probably just stick with 40k, honestly. 40k to them is like, that's the poster child of what all their efforts are being put into. I doubt it'll change hearts and minds, but it would be cool. There's a few teams I'm really hoping pop up for kill team stuff. But honestly, I don't know how they can. Outside of maybe a range refresh. Like, it would be cool for them to bust out, like, proper demons as a kill team. But that would kind of require the models coming out to be, like, a big refresh of the line. Like, there's no reason for them to do pinks and blues as the team. If they did, it'd be like, oh, I already have the team, I don't need to buy the box. They've kind of worked themselves into a little bit of a corner. But in a weird way, blue horrors do lend themselves to a really fun version of kill team, even if they go all the way up to pinks. Like, could you imagine a kill team of 10 units that aren't exactly strong? They start as specialists. You know, icon bearer, horn bearer, that kind of stuff. And then as you kill them, they lose their specialist status and become 2 of something else. Again, not something particularly strong, just numerous and annoying. This is a van brace, it looks like. Guy's flame that he's jumping on. Ugh. Ugh. Dried up. We're just about done here. At least for what we can do today. Because once I put the texture paste down, I gotta wait till it dries, which probably won't be till later tonight. And that's basically that. But yeah, it should be fun for that 2v2. I think the team will work really well. It's a pretty strong combo in my opinion, especially with how the tournament's laid out. Freaking demons Tyranids. Let me get this crackle paste. Oh wait, this is not the crackle paste. Crackle paste. Oh god. I have not used this in a while. good because it's thickened up a little bit since the last time I've used it. So it's like easier to apply. But hopefully when it dries up, it actually crackles. It isn't just solid chunks of texture. texture paste portion of the stream. Ugh. What do we get for lunch today, chat? I know it's a little late for lunch. Maybe I'll turn it a little bit into dinner. I want to keep it light, though. Maybe I grab a salad. I could go grab a lamb salad from the halal place. Oh, that lamb is so good. I want to figure out how they make that lamb, like what seasoning they use. It's one of those like crusted lambs. Like it's so much seasoning, so many different things. keep getting hit with ragtime in the jazz section. God damn it. There we go. This is the vibe I want. A little less take me out to the ball game, a little more random bar on a city street people don't always go to. This will be the texture paste for the blue horrors. I'm gonna get these brimstones. And if later tonight, if the texture paste is done, I might actually do the fluorescent pigment powder. go through the stuff that I have access to and figure out what Battle Shock interactions I'm going to have. I think the forced Battle Shock interactions we're going to have for our two-man team is mostly coming from the Tyranid side, although I think for me it's mostly the Changeling, I want to say. I think I would need some change casters on field to start manipulating the Battle Shock issue. I think it was change casters that trigger that. Part of me wants to kind of bust out an Abominant and like a full demon list at some point, just so I could have like one key unit on the field in Shadow of Warp, just forcing Battle Shocks to occur. I think that could be hilarious. Granted, it's not that good, because he doesn't get his own passive. The forced Battle Shocks thing. It'd be a whole different story if the Knight -1 must take Battle Shocks, even if you're only below starting strength, not half strength. If that could just be hoisted upon them in all allied situations, that could be really cool. But probably a bit too strong. There's a very big chance when the Thousand Suns Codex drops that I am going to spend so much time and effort trying to make the Demons crossover detachment work. Just because of how many I have. Hoping the ability crossovers are pretty good. I am predicting, though, that it's going to be like something super weird. Worst case scenario, they strip Zangors out of Thousand Suns. I really hope they don't, though. I mean, they just had the freaking video game use so many Zangors. So, like, that would just be madness. hoping is whatever the benefit you get from running demons alongside would probably hopefully involve something like I could run a squad of screamers and a squad of enlightened and keep them near each other and just get like all these really good benefits. Thousand Sun jet bike army. Exalted sorcerers on discs. Saruman on a disc. Just flying around the field doing their thing. 2 more after this one, chat. To whoever is still around at what is the worst hour for me to stream. Problem is I like getting this stuff done early in the day. That way I can work on videos later in the day. It should probably be the other way around though. Because once this is done, I'm going to go get some food. I'm just gonna hang out and try to get at least a good chunk of this video I recorded for put together. I have so much B-roll for it, just ready to go. Also have to keep an eye on these guys to try to get their bases prepped. Because if I can get their bases painted before tomorrow, my test game, that would be pretty sweet. Even though the place I'm going doesn't really care about paint jobs. This is a personal thing for me. I always want to make sure stuff I'm using is at least in marginally good condition and completion before actually using it. At some point later tonight, I gotta build the rest of the bases for these Chaos Spawn, because we might do another stream this week where I paint my Emperor's Children Chaos Spawn, which will probably be another short stream because it's not a lot of work. Technically, I don't need to do it right away, though. I don't have anything planned with my Emperor's Children in a timely fashion. We really need to get our hands on the Flawless Blades and Lucius and all that extra stuff before really thinking of doing like a 2K list. Oh. Alright. Basing texture paste set. Now we wait. Thanks for hanging out to anyone that's still around. I gotta get moving. I am hungry. I'm so hungry. Till next time, guys.